Alright, welcome back to the walkthrough, and as you can already see, we're moving into the endgame, so it's time for some endgame fashion, alright? Gotta look good for the ending. So, today we'll be doing Subterranean Shunning-Grounds, the area underneath Lanedale down in the sewers, which means you can go ahead and warp to Underground Roadside to get started. A quick disclaimer before we start this area, there might be a couple items in your world that are not in mine in this first section, due to just maybe grabbing a couple items on the way to Dung Eater much earlier in the walkthrough, but just feel free to loot whatever you come across, you're not going to hurt anything. From this grace, go out here to the left and across the hall, down this ladder. And there's going to be a ton of imps in this area. I'd recommend some kind of ranged option if you have it. Crystal darts will work just fine too if you want to try to frenzy them. In fact, I might craft up a few of those myself. That should be enough. Got some freezing grease here. And these guys are just going to be all over the place, hanging from these pipes and all that, so just keep your eyes open. Also one directly above me I seem to have forgotten about. Some of them you can just hit and they'll fall to their death, so that makes things easy. But just move slowly, try to pull them down one at a time with ranged attacks if you can. And I don't know, we can leave that guy up there, it's fine. There's gonna be a pretty big ambush over here. Make that guy fall off. This guy, I can't remember if no, not quite. Let's go this way. This is probably a little safer. Somber Smithing Stone 6 there. And then I'm gonna hop up here. Smithing Stone 7. And this will be the way forward, but keep clearing this area out while we're here. That guy can go down. Just double check and make sure that actually is killing them, because we'll be down there for in a second, and I don't want to deal with all the imps if they're still alive. Not me. And you get some fire grease there. And once you're ready, come over here. This jump is actually much safer than going to this corner like I did. It's lower and there's something to fall on if you don't miss it, or if you do miss it, so... now up here is going to be an Omen here to the left. Grab Shadow Bait there, and just to be safe... actually that other Omen is coming this way. I was going to say, you can open the shortcut there. Make sure you get it just in case you die here, but I feel like it'd be more dangerous to aggro the other Omen, so... Alright, now then, this will take us out to the hallway where the Grace is. Just going to be in that first room on the left down there past the ladder. But for now, we will backtrack to this room with all the pipes. And then drop down onto this pipe. Get to the lowest point here so it's safe to drop down. And go to the bottom. Couple lobsters in here that we'll deal with in just a second, but let's just play this safe and go over here and get the Grace first. I'm doing just fine on flasks, so I'm not going to heal up right now. Ow. I hate these things. Alright, he's dead. You can also, when you come out of here, if you do rest to reset them, he'll be underwater here, or underground, and you can just crouch and sneak around here. It'll probably still trigger him to come up out of the ground, but you can just sneak behind him. He won't actually, like, see you, even though he does come out of the ground. And you get Moog Shackle here, which is the most important item. And if you grab anything here, just make sure it's that. We got some smithing stones, strip of white flesh, a teardrop scarab in here. Gives you a somber smithing stone 7. I don't know that I really even want to deal with this other lobster, so let's just grab this loot. He wants to deal with me. And then we'll go back to this Grace over here. And before we start the Catacombs down here, just go up this lift nearby. There's going to be some illusory walls up here. You can just roll through if you want, otherwise just use the shackle to get rid of them. There would be 2 here blocking these arches, and another one here hiding the Spirit Collar Snail. Kill him and all the crossbowmen will disappear. Get the Haligdrake Talisman +1. Golden Rune 11. And then pull this lever here, and this is going to open a shortcut back to where we just got the Shadow Bait incantation. So, depending on if you rested or not, there might be an Omen standing right there, but double shortcut here. And then let's warp back down to the Catacombs. Leyndell Catacombs. Alright, so from this side of Grace, we'll go downstairs. Past the sealed boss door. And there's going to be a few of these water rooms in the dungeon, so if I reference a water room, this is what I mean. Just a room with water at the bottom. Probably don't have to kill these guys, but better safe than sorry. And then keep going up here. There's going to be one hiding around the corner to the right. Ghost Glove Wart 6. I don't know why you have to like bend down to pick that one up. It's kind of weird. Take out these exploding guys. And then if you didn't use the shackle before, this flame pillar should be like up and activated, but you can use a shackle at any point in here to deactivate it if you would like. There's gonna be one more guy next to it. Grave Violet there, which take note of that in the corner. And up here, we got an Omen. Run around, get that backstab. You can lure him back to that door we just came through as well if you need to. He can't fit through there. Get the Crucible Scale Talisman, and then we'll backtrack. Ride this back down. Take this first left. There's going to be a staircase with a bunch of dead putrid corpses on it. Just keep climbing to the top to find an Omen. Not gonna give me an easy backstab, huh? I will work for it. I just missed it. He's just barely faster than I am. Alright, Grave Glovewort 9, and then into this next room. Make sure you grab this Golden Rune 11 on the ledge, and from here on out, this is one of those dungeons that tries to confuse you by making you run through nearly identical sections. So we'll drop down, grab this Grave Glovewort 8, then take out the enemies. Obviously, this looks pretty similar to that last water room that I pointed out. And then there's two exits, one up the stairs to the southeast and another one to the northwest. We'll take the northwest one. Also, why is there a beacon on my map? There's two. There's one. Where's the other one? There you are. That was annoying me. Alright. So down there, or down here, there's gonna be this fake boss door that's already open. So we'll sneak in here and there's gonna be an Omen off to the right. If you fight him near the entrance here, you shouldn't get the attention of the one further into the room, so you can keep it a 1v1, which is ideal. Run up and get a backstab on you. Golden Rune 11. Ghost Glovewort 8, and then we can exit this room and go through that other exit up here. Kind of a dead end with some root resin in it. And then we will backtrack to that water room and go through the other way out of there. Up these stairs straight ahead to the southeast. Pretty sure this room is empty. Yes. Another identical looking room. Deactivate the pillar with the shackle. And this one does not have that grave violet in the corner, so that's how you know it's different. Back up here to a room that looks like where the Omen was, except this one actually has an exit. And if we keep going down this way, we'll eventually be on the second story of the first water room that we were in. So we can loot some sacramental buds, pull the lever to unlock the boss. And then instead of jumping down, backtrack to the fire pillar. And we'll go up the staircase that was next to it. We'll have to come back through here to get to the boss, but I like to unlock the boss room now just in case I die up ahead. Because if that does happen, there's really not much more super important loot up ahead. Mostly just gloveworts, which we'll be able to buy fairly soon here. And you probably have whatever summon you like maxed out by this point already. So, like I said, if we do die, can honestly just ignore this loot and go straight to the boss at that point. But I am still very much alive as of right now, so we will go this way. Not very dead putrid corpses on this section. Brave Glovewort 8, and then up here, there's going to be an Omen mourning the death of another one, so he's pretty preoccupied. You can just sneak past him if you want. And then you can drop down in here, double check there's no loot up here. Looks like we're good to go. These guys are all dead. Go through the only exits. Take out these guys, grab the Grave Glovewort 8. And then through here. Can't tell. Oh yeah, there's no fire pillar in this one. There is a Glovewort there, and instead of a fire pillar, there's another one up ahead. And an Omen waiting to drop down. So just grab this, and then we can lose him right around the corner, so I usually just ignore him. Run through this other hallway, and hop through the window. And then this is the... Obviously, we've been through a couple of rooms that look like this. This is the second one, which means this is the way back to the real boss room. So we'll go back downstairs, up this fire pillar again. Down here where we killed the imps earlier. And just keep going all the way to the end until you can drop down into that first water room. And then we can go through the northwest exit that does not have stairs at the end of it to reach the Grace and the boss room. So for this boss, I would highly recommend just holding the beast repellent torch either in your offhand, or if you hold it on your back and two-hand your weapon, that'll still work. Because then the boss will run over to you when the fight starts, and the dogs will just ignore you if you stay somewhat far away from them. I mean, you can get pretty close and it should still work fine, but don't mess with them. So that's going to make this a simple 1v1 against a normal NPC that uses some bleed attacks. Aside from normal melee attacks that will also build up bleed, this guy also uses Swarm of Flies, which will fly at you slowly and then expand into a damage over time swarm that builds up bleed very quickly. You can either roll forward through it or bait it into running into a wall or something. It tracks pretty well, so probably try to roll through it. He also has access to a magic claw attack that releases a delayed explosion, as well as the Reduvia weapon art, just the little bleed wave that he can send out from range from his dagger. This boss itself is pretty lame, but I swear he's a reference to Tichy Gren, the Brotherhood of Blood guy from Dark Souls 2, so I cannot hate him. Alright, that was pretty embarrassing on his part, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, Blood Boss, you can't be dying to bleed. Especially when I don't even have a bleed build. But you get the Lord of Blood's Exaltation Talisman. That kind of works like the... something Rot Exaltation Talisman, I think. What was that other one called? Kindred of Rot's Exaltation. So poisoning or rot in vicinity increases attack power. This one does the same thing, except if blood loss occurs in the vicinity. So that can be nice if you have a bleed build going on. Now warp back to Underground Road side. If you're having trouble like finding which Grace to go to here, you can open up the list for Lanedell, and there's a separate Subterranean Shunning-Grounds section down here. So that makes it easier to find. And now it's time for what I like to call Shortcut City, because there are a lot of shortcuts here. That's why I call it that. Probably never could have guessed that. I would equip an AoE healing spell to deal with a Revenant just in case, but hopefully you won't actually need it. That's really only if you miss a jump. But go left and all the way down to the end of the hallway, and we'll drop down into this hole next to a grate, as if we were going to see Dung Eater. And like I said, there might be items missing here, or items that you picked up and I haven't yet, so just whatever's glowing, make sure you grab it. I guess I still have Beast Repellent Torch on, so these guys probably won't mess with me. Nice. Throwing a lantern though. But yeah, we're gonna go down this pipe and just fall down this hole, because let's be honest, you were probably gonna do it by accident anyway, so we might as well just cover it. We get in this room with a few Wraith Callers. Stone Sword Key, and then go through this gate at the end and follow this pipe. You can ignore the slugs if you want to until you get to a hole on the left that's just stuffed with slugs. It's a very weird sentence I just said. And then once you kill them, you will be back at the original section of pipe that we were in. So this hole off to the right is the one we just fell down to, and left is going to be the way forward. So we'll go left around the bend, grab those glass shards. And now that you know about the holes in these pipes, we're going to jump over this one at the top of the incline. If you do fall, you might have to deal with a few more Wraith Callers and a Revenant. If that does happen, you should be able to just run to the northwest corner of the room and only deal with the 2 Wraith Callers and just not spawn the Revenant in. You'll find a pipe that exits up here to the left at this intersection up ahead. But that's if you did fall, which hopefully you didn't. Also, if you do decide to cross the other side of the room down there and not just exit right away, you will obviously spawn the Revenant in, which will be guarding a Smithing Stone 7 and some Grave Violets. Basically just not worth fighting a Revenant over, which is why I'm not going down there. But let's take a right at this intersection. There's going to be another alcove over here with some slimes or slugs in it. Take them out for a fireproof dried liver. And then keep going down this pipe. So you get to a room with a ladder, and an Omen will jump down. Take him out, and you get a Somber Smithing Stone 8. That's not the one that drops the... Hold on. Oh, that's weird. Usually they don't come down here. Maybe it's because I ran up and backstabbed them early. I don't know if I usually do that. If you pull them back to the pipe that we just came out of, I've almost never have this guy hop down. But either way... Go up here, and usually there would be 2 Omens off to the left, but one just came for us. So we will sneak over here, pull this lever to open a shortcut back to the underground roadside hallway again. There's the hole that we just dropped down to get to where we just were. And then... I think you have iframes when you open this door. I don't see why you wouldn't, but if he's not paying attention, you can also just open it and then go get the item they're guarding, which is a Smithing Stone 7, so also might be worth just ignoring since we don't really need those anymore. And he shouldn't be able to follow you through here because he's a little wide. We'll go down here. So this guy... And this guy... And get a Grace Mimic at the end, and then go all the way back to the top. Drop down. Kill that guy for a Somber Smithing Stone 6. And then down here at the bottom, string. Walk off the edge. Nice. So this is the way forward. Now, if you want, there's actually a really cool skip you can do right here. So if you hop into this last window, if you look down, there's like an elevator. It looks more like a cage right there, but just in that archway directly below us, or a little in front of me, I guess. So what you can do is you can kind of like run into this wall here to get like a running jump going, and then sort of slip out around the corner. And I basically just aim to like run directly into that pillar, that this square one, and well, this pillar right in front of me, right? Because as you can see from back here, it only goes down to the top of that archway. So if you jump and kind of like push your character forward into that corner of the pillar, you'll keep moving forward, and once the pillar, the bottom of it ends, you'll have room to keep moving forward and land on top of that cage. I feel like that didn't make any sense. I'm gonna try it just in case I somehow manage to do it first try. I'm risking a rune arc, so you know this is serious. But if it doesn't work, we just got that shortcut back at, or that we can come back from Underground Roadside anyway, so we can just continue like normal. But I'll give it, yeah, that was horrible. Oh, actually, I probably could have saved that, but I was so surprised I overshot it that much. I think if you're quick and you land on one of those ledges, you can roll into it. I'm not sure, but that was a bad jump anyway. But yeah, you could just literally land on that elevator. I tried it, as recently as like 2 weeks ago, probably. So it definitely still works if you actually do the jump properly and don't completely overshoot it like I did. And then you just roll into the elevator and you can take it down to the boss. So that is an option if you're not a fan of this place, which I can definitely understand. Grab my runes, pop a rune arc, I suppose. We're past the only threat of a revenant, so I don't need the heal incantation anymore, but I like having the rune arc on. You can probably ignore all these guys if you want, if you're just quick running through here, but it's not like they're hard to kill. Now there's going to be some basilisks down here, which I would definitely recommend taking out. The flower itself, kind of up to you. Get some poison stones back here. Careful going all the way to the end of this hallway though, because there's another basilisk at the end. Don't want to get pinched. Where's the other one? There you are. I lost my talisman. So kill that last one, get the Nomad Ashes, and then backtrack to the ladder over here. Go through this path next to the staircase, got some preserving boluses. A couple basilisks here, and a commoner around the corner as well. You're welcome to stop doing that. Door is locked right now, but we'll be on the other side of it pretty soon. Kill that guy, and then up here, this is the Omen I was thinking of earlier, so let me see if I can get him to bait out this special attack here. This one explodes and all these little homing things come out. There we go, and he gives you the Omen Baron, which is an item that you can put on your hotbar, and it will consume some FP to do that attack that I tried to bait out there at the very beginning. So, the thing is though, by this point in the game, you can actually trade Morgoth's Remembrance to Enya back at Round Table Hold to get the Regal Omen Baron, which is just a straight upgrade to that item. So, if you've already spent or consumed the Remembrance of the Omen King, you can always duplicate it at a Wandering Mausoleum as well. Not crucial by any means, but if you're interested in that item, probably worth just getting the better one. Probably... usually an imp up here. Oh well. Not complaining. Get some poison stones, and then another shortcut back to Underground Roadside of all places, if you can even believe that. Alright, so back over here, we'll go up this pipe on the side. Could have just thrown a dart at him to knock him down, but that's fine. Maybe it's not fine. Oh, almost fell off. Okay. Alright, and then at the top you can just fall down to either side, it doesn't matter. There's going to be one more that drops down over here. Make sure you're not trying to jump when he's throwing stuff at you. Alright, now slowly approach this door over here. This guy's gonna run out. You don't want to get knocked off the edge. Golden Rune 10, and then in through here. Kick down the shortcut on the left, or ladder for a shortcut, and then you can jump across here and into the pipe. And as soon as we fall down here, there's going to be a rat around this corner that runs away. This is kind of a similar situation to the elevator skip from earlier, but instead of an unintended skip, we just make a choice here whether we want to go straight for the boss or do some more looting. So if you follow that rat down there, that'll take you to the boss. Otherwise, go the opposite direction to the southwest. And at the end of this pipe, as soon as the path splits here, I would recommend dropping a rainbow stone, and we're just going to use this as a marker to help us know when we're back to the beginning of this absolute maze of pipes. So, we'll take the right path first, towards this cerulean teardrop scarab. Why, right? Yes. I don't know why I was blanking on the name of that thing for a second. And then, let's see. Wait, I'm already confused. Did I do this right? Yes. Go down the right. And we take the first left. And keep going all the way down to the last right. Down a little hill to get an Eye of Yellow. Then we backtrack to not this T intersection, but this one. And then we will go left. And we'll follow this all the way to the end. There's going to be a warming stone on our left at some point. Keep going all the way to the end. Smithing Stone 8. Watch your back for this commoner. And now we are going to backtrack to that rainbow stone we dropped. So, go up this hill. Round to the left. And then the right. Did I get lost again? No. Here we are. Okay. I hate this place. Now we'll go up the other path here, up this hill. Follow this until we reach a T intersection with a golden rune 8. Nothing up to the right, so go left and go all the way to the end to, well, not all the way up to the end, down this way to find the smithing stone 7. If you go all the way to the end, this links back up with that first room from the beginning of this episode with all the imps and stuff. Not terribly helpful to us at this point unless you're out of heals and really need to rest, but I feel like that would be kind of difficult since the only enemies we've seen recently are teardrop scarabs full of flask refills. But anyway, back to the rainbow stone again. And we'll just keep going straight through this gate here. And this should take us back to where that rat was running away earlier. That's the hole that we fell down. Grab this golden rune 11 and then turn around and we can go down here. Kill the rats. And we will fall down this hole and immediately roll forward a couple of times because there's a commoner behind you. Grab that smithing stone 5 from him. This is that locked door from earlier where the commoner and the basilisks were. And turn around and go down this hill. Until you reach a ladder and then we can go down to the last room here. Just take out all the living jars in here. And get our 10th and final ritual pot. So that should be pretty much it for... We have 10 ritual pots. We have 20 cracked pots. We have all 10 perfume bottles, all 8 memory stones. Looking pretty good. We have... No, we don't have one more talisman slot or pouch to get, because we start with 1 slot and only have 3 pouches. So all that stuff I was tracking, we are good to go. And then here's that elevator from earlier. Take it down to the bottom. Still have another legendary armament to get, I suppose, but... Our collections are all almost complete. Gonna rest up here, and it is time for the boss. So this is Moog, Lord of Blood. Or sorry, this is not Moog, Lord of Blood. This boss is Moog the Omen. And Moog the Omen is to Moog, Lord of Blood, as Margit is to Morgott. Basically just a simplified illusion version of the real thing. If you are not following this walkthrough exactly and have already fought Moog, Lord of Blood, the real one, then this will be no problem at all. It's basically the same fight without any of the extra mechanics. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm not even sure if this guy will appear if you kill the real one first. It probably won't, but if this is your first time fighting any version of Moog, then this is good practice for what's to come, and you have to kill the real one to get to the DLC now, so you're going to want to do that. As far as preparation is concerned, equip Moog's Shackle either to your hotbar or item pouch, whatever you would prefer. And then feel free to bring some staunching boluses or something to deal with bleed if you're worried about it. And then we can, well, there's a little short section up here with an item I suppose I can grab before I start yapping about the actual boss fight. Smithing Stone 6, and then through this doorway will be the boss. So, he has a pretty limited moveset, at least compared to the real one, I feel like. He has a few just basic melee combos with his trident. He can do like a 3-swing combo, a normal thrust, and then either a swing into a slam or a swing followed by impaling the trident into the ground. When he impales the ground, just be wary of a follow-up hit when he pulls it back out. There'll be like a little shockwave thing you gotta watch out for. And then the rest of his moveset revolves around Blood Flame magic. He can use the same Blood Flame claw attack that Esger used at the, or can use at the end of Leyndell Catacombs. But if you're like me, there's a good chance you killed him before he did anything, so I'll explain how that works. Basically, he will claw the air in front of him with his offhand, and the claw mark will explode after a short delay, like a glowing claw mark just lingers in the air. And then it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's really good at roll catching you, especially if you've been rolling straight into him to avoid the melee combos, so just be very careful of that. He also has 3 variants of an attack called Blood Boon, where he will splash Blood Flame at you. And also, it's been a long time, I suppose, if you're not familiar with Blood Flame, it basically does fire magic, or fire damage, and also builds up the blood loss status effect. I'm fumbling all of my words right now. If you're at close range, he will reach into the air and summon down like a rain of blood flame that will leave patches on the ground that build up bleed if you stand in them. At range, he can do either a horizontal throw where he kind of splashes out this big wide wave, which you'll want to roll through, or he can do a vertical throw, kind of like he's just throwing a baseball or something, which will be a much narrower projectile that you can avoid by rolling to the side. Pretty much all of it is going to leave lingering blood flame on the floor, so don't stand in that and just keep an eye on your blood loss meter and know when to kind of back off and let that drain a bit before you start getting aggressive again. Now, as for Moog's Shackle, similar to Margit's Shackle, you can only use it to stun him twice per fight, so try to use it when you're close by and can capitalize on the stun the most. And I guess the only other tip I have, it's not really a tip, maybe just a personal thing, but I feel like he swings his trident always a lot slower than I feel like he's going to. So maybe delay your rolls slightly. There's that claw and then follow-up explosion. There's the rain. Don't stand in the fire on the floor because that'll also build up blood loss. Pulls that out. Another hit. I genuinely, like, just suck at fighting this guy. It's going alright right now, but I feel like something about his just completely normal and honestly slow melee attacks just messes me up most of the time. Try to get some distance here and show off the other versions of Blood Boon, because I've been close and he hasn't really done them. There's the wave. Roll forward if you can, and then I feel like I never get him to do the other one. That one's mostly dangerous just because of how much fire ends up being on the ground afterwards. I also always get clipped by that claw. Just every time. I guess you'll just have to take my word for it that he has a just over-the-top, normal throw kind of version of that. Anyway, however you want to do it, defeat him for the Blood Flame Talons Incantation, grab the Grace, and make sure you rest to talk to Melina. And exhaust her dialogue, and she will ask you not to inherit the Frenzied Flame. So back out, and we're gonna go inherit the Frenzied Flame. I'm only phrasing it that way because it's funny, but this is the path to the Frenzied Flame, but I will stop and explain very clearly when to stop if you don't want the Frenzied Flame for the endings and all that. But attack or roll into that wall behind the chest to reveal the secret path back here. Now, that will only open if you've also defeated Morgott already. So if it's sealed up, make sure you go kill Morgott up at the top of Lanedale. And then we'll enter this first room with all these corpses. There's going to be some of these like glowing yellow embers around here that you can grab if you want. But cross this beam. These guys can do a ton of damage with their Frenzied Flame attacks, but we can also use their Frenzied Flame attacks to burn up these tents. So try to bait them into doing that. There we go. And then back here you can get the Nomadic Merchant set. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what would be smart, since we're like actively trying to get them to aim those at us, probably equip the Clarifying Horn Charm +1. That's gonna give you a nice boost to your focus, so you'll have more madness meter to work with. Grab that Grace Mimic. Go down these stairs here. And there should be another one. Oh, there you are. There we go. Get him to blow up the tent. Eyes of Yellow. The ones that are like playing... Oh, you're not playing the music, are you? I don't know. He probably won't bother you though. Down here for Golden Rune 11, and then carefully line up this drop. I didn't do that very carefully. Up to the top for the Frenzied Cookbook 2. And then 1 second, I lost my place in my notes. My computer's freaking out. Alright, we're good. And then down here, FTB Stone, and there is... I think you can technically go down either side. There's just a couple of these like gravestones sticking out. I usually like to go off the east side over here, so that's what I'm going to do. So we'll drop down here carefully. And unless you outright miss a platform and fall all the way down, you shouldn't take any fall damage here. Alright, so that would be a good demonstration of what that looks like. We will try this again. Down once. Go a little bit wider so I don't bounce off the wall again. There we go. Down to the right. One more time. Oh, that was almost too far. Get the Inescapable Frenzy Incantation. There is a tent here that we want to blow up, so go down here. Fingerprint Stone Shield, and then just like gently hit this guy. Nope. Actually, I can probably turn this away from him. There we go. It's gonna punch him, but I had other plans, I guess. There we go. They're so deceptively dangerous. You get the note Michos Needle, which I find genuinely hilarious. So, the Empyrean Mikola crafted a needle to resist the influence of the outer gods. And then below that it says, those who have inherited the flame of frenzy yet wish not to become its lord would do well to seek Michos Needle. I think this is funny because this has to be the most blatant hint or piece of advice that FromSoft has ever put in their game about a questline, let alone getting a certain ending to the game. But it's hidden under a random tent way down here, mere seconds before you inherit the Frenzied Flame, and by reading this, you would still have absolutely no idea just how much effort it takes to get Michos Needle, let alone how to use it. For one, you would have to somehow still be in a position to do Millicent's entire questline, which we're not even done with yet, finish the Halig Tree, which we haven't done yet, and do most of Farum Azula, including the most obscure part to get to, which is just not hinted at here in any capacity. And that's all if you actually decided to read this note, which is just lumped in with all the random notes carried by every merchant throughout the game. I'm guessing maybe this made more sense before Merchant Kale's questline got cut from the game, which if you haven't looked into it before, I highly recommend searching for a video or something about his cut questline, because it sounded really cool and tied together all the merchants, the Frenzied Flame, this place we're at now, and all those notes. Maybe even the caravans that the trolls are pulling around. I might be making that last part up, I can't quite remember. I don't know why it was cut though. I still think this note in particular has to be a joke though, because I feel like it's literally saying, go find a needle in a haystack. Like an actual needle, but the haystack is the entire game. There's no way, dude. Anyway, go down this staircase nearby. Just to the lowest level you can, and then hop down to the bottom here. Floor will break, fall really, really far, and somehow take no fall damage. Get the Frenzied Flame Proscription Grace nearby, and rest. You just finished a FromSoft platforming section. You've earned the rest. Talk to Melina. Exhaust her dialogue, and she will ask one more time that we not inherit the Frenzied Flame. Alright, and then real quick, go over to the southeast wall and roll through this leftmost archway. Open this for a rune arc, and then there's another one right behind, which will actually take you down to Deeproot Depths of all places. Really cool way to get to Deeproot Depths, but personally, I would never. I suppose there are technically a few items down here. I don't know, this is going to be kind of a short episode compared to what we've been doing lately anyway, so I suppose I'll just be thorough and grab them. Let's go down, let me see, you gotta do this a certain way so you can actually get everything. That's a Smithing Stone 6, so if I do mess this up and we can't get back up to that, then that's what you'd be missing. Oh, that guy just came out of nowhere. Newmans Rune, Rune Arc, usual loot from the big ant. Okay, I think we can get back there easily. Oh, we can get all the way back up. I'm stupid. There we go, Smithing Stone 6 as promised. And then we will go down here, hop onto this branch. Actually went and finally fully upgraded a bow too, so I might be able to kill these things. That didn't do very much damage, that was so underwhelming. Why can't I hit you? I don't have enough range, that's the issue. This guy's good. Alright. Overcomplicated that possibly as much as I could have. We'll jump down here. Over here. Sneak up on you. Oh, you know what? I actually realized after I did the Deeproot Depths episode, I think I did forget an item on one of these branches down here. So we can actually go back and get that. No. That seemed like a bad idea and I just did it anyway. I don't know what's wrong with me. Alright, so instead we'll drop down here. And then we'll jump up here. Still sketchy that way, but at least we didn't die. The Golden Rune 8 from that. We'll hop up here. I didn't kill the one above me this time. That was a mistake. Just keep running and hope it doesn't catch me. Run to the end of this. Big jump. I missed. Alright, well, that sucks. Can I try that again? Can't. What was that item? Can't remember. I'll figure it out and I'll put it on the screen. It was also a golden rune 8. There you go. Way down there is the grace that we used to get here, or at the beginning of this place originally, way back in that episode. Alright, and then if you drop down again, we're gonna have a whole lot of ants to deal with. I think they march all the way to the end. That's not what I wanted. Alright, nice. That is actually what I wanted right there. Alright, one more item here. Golden arrows. Moment of truth. It's going to be off here to the right if I did miss it. If it's the one I think I missed. It's a little further down, I guess. Yup, I can see it. Damn it. Alright, I have to fix my mistake from earlier. So we'll just go back. It's a great waterfall crest in that case. If I don't fix this mistake now, then the guide won't be perfect. It was eating away at me. I never went back to check, and then I forgot about it until we got back down here, and it just came right back into my memory. I think we'll have to go... Yeah, we gotta go through this cave. Three holy grease. I hope it was worth the trouble. So with that little detour out of the way, as for Hiatus here, speak to her and she will tell you to take off all of your gear and approach the door over here to meet the three fingers and inherit the frenzied flame. This will complete Hiatus Quest, but unlike all the other endings in the game where we receive a Mending Great Rune, and we'll be able to decide which one we use after killing the final boss, inheriting the Frenzied Flame will lock us into the Frenzied Flame ending. We will not be able to choose any of the other ones we've already gained access to once we reach the end of the game, so if you don't want the Frenzied Flame ending, just don't inherit the Frenzied Flame. That's the easiest solution. If you have been following the guide and continue to follow it, we will be finishing Millicent's questline in one of the next couple areas, and subsequently obtaining an item called Michos Needle, the one talked about in the note that we just picked up. If you use Michos Needle, you can undo the Frenzied Flame inheritance, which will then lock us out of the Frenzied Flame ending, but in return, we will once again be able to freely choose from any of the other endings that we've set up in this walkthrough. The needle serves no other purpose to us other than being a failsafe if you inherit the Frenzied Flame by accident or change your mind and don't want to be locked into that ending. From a lore perspective, for Elden Ring as a whole, the needle is unbelievably important and powerful, but unfortunately that's all the value it has to us. The only way to complete Hiatus questline is to inherit the Frenzied Flame though, which is why I said way back when we first met Hiata in one of the first episodes that I would just ignore her probably until you do a run where you're going to inherit the Frenzied Flame and actually go for that ending. Completing her quest will reward you with the Frenzied Flame Seal, which boosts Frenzied Flame incantations, and unless that's what your character's all about, it's probably not a very useful reward. Now, technically, if you're just wanting to do it for the sake of completing everything, what you can actually do is take one of the other endings to the game and then come back to inherit the Frenzied Flame after the game is over to complete her quest. It's kind of weird that you can do that, but it is an option. You just won't get access to the Frenzied Flame ending, obviously, because you will have already beaten the game with a different ending by that point. You'd just be doing that to complete Hiatus questline and get the Frenzied Flame seal, essentially. Now, there is even more to this decision, though. What happens at the Forge of the Giants and Melina's fate? Obviously, Melina has made it extremely clear that she does not want you to inherit the Frenzied Flame, and that she has made the choice to sacrifice herself to be the kindling that will burn the Erd Tree. That's what she wants. If she gets what she wants, and you go with one of the other endings, Melina will die, sacrificing herself and fulfilling her goal. To progress the game to any of the endings, no matter what, the Erd Tree must burn. If you go with any of the other endings, Melina will be the one to do it, but if you inherit the Frenzied Flame, you actually end up burning the tree yourself, thus sparing Melina's life. She'll be alive, but she will hate you. I'm talking literally taking an oath to destroy you kind of hate. So sparing Melina is kind of a misleading way to describe that situation, although I do see people phrase it like that online all the time. She simply will not appreciate you doing her that solid though. Now, one final consideration is if you intend to back up your save to get all the endings in one playthrough. If you make a save right before you choose an ending, you can go through all the normal endings, and then when you're ready, go get the Frenzied Flame at the last second over here and do that ending. If you're just worried about achievements, then that is an option. However, if you do it that way and get the Frenzied Flame after Melina burned the Erd Tree, then you won't actually get the full Frenzied Flame ending cutscene since Melina will be dead. If you burn the Erd Tree yourself by getting the Frenzied Flame now, or just at least before you let Melina burn the Erd Tree, then she will survive and she'll actually appear in the final cutscene for the Frenzied Flame ending, which is much, much cooler. I also want to mention on the note of backing up your saves that I have no experience with that personally and just don't really recommend doing it, since there's always a risk of corrupting your save file and just losing all of your progress. And just one more time to be clear, because I feel like I might have glossed over it, to get this door to actually open, you have to take off all of your armor and everything, so do that if you need it to open. All in all though, I hope that makes sense and you can make an informed decision about what to do next. If you want the Frenzied Flame ending, open the door, watch the cutscene, and you're good to go, and then just keep playing until the end of the game and you'll get that ending. If you want any other ending, just don't go through that door, and you'll be able to pick which one you want at the very end, right after the final boss. You can pick any of them except the Frenzied Flame ending if you followed this whole walkthrough, because we've set up every other ending as well. And last but not least, for the final time, if you do decide to inherit the Frenzied Flame right now, and you change your mind between now and the final boss, you will be able to undo the Frenzied Flame choice by the end of the walkthrough with Michos Needle. I'm not saying that just to make you watch the rest of the walkthrough, we just literally haven't gotten far enough to complete that questline quite yet, but we will. If you really want to, just go ahead and watch another video about getting Michos Needle. I don't care at all, I just want to make sure that there are no surprises and no confusion about which ending you will get based on the actions you take. If you do decide, once again, to meet the Three Fingers and you did not kill Shabriri earlier, you can also find the Ronin armor set where he was standing over here by Zamor Ruins in Mountaintops of the Giants after you inherit the Frenzied Flame, because that's what he told you to go do and what he wanted for you. I just killed him for the armor set because that's the only other interaction you have with him, and I wanted his armor early. So with that, I think we're done here. So I'm going to wrap up this episode. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that helped you. And next time we will take on Mohgwyn's Palace. So I'll see you for that.